Hi everyone. Um, this is probably the realest. Let me not say the realest, because guys, real does not mean down bad. But this is probably the most down bad you'll ever see me. Okay, I am currently recovering from sickness. Um, that is another story on its own, guys. Like, okay, just to divert a bit. I've always wanted to faint. And I actually fainted. But it was so embarrassing. And to be honest, I'm trying to forget about it because it's haunting me. Like, literally, every time I sleep, I think about it. But that's neither here or there. Anyways, as I said, this is probably the most down bad you'll see me. I'm currently recovering from sickness. But I don't know, I just want to be real and raw for a minute. I know the thumbnail of this will not look cute and pretty at all. It'll be for those who need to hear this message. If there's even a message at the end of this, I don't know. I think I'm just processing a lot of my feelings right now. So my life right now is not what I had imagined or thought it would be at this point. Let's say a year ago or 2 years ago. Not that it's particularly bad, but you know, when you're in high school, you have a whole set dream for your life, a whole vision that by whatever means you believe is what is right for you. And through whatever means that comes in, you feel some sort of validation from God, I guess, that you're on the right track or your dreams are on the right track, you know. And so I had a set dream and vision for my life, and that was supposed to happen last year, and it didn't. And it broke me. It broke me to the core. It literally broke me. I had to re-envision life and what that looked like. And part of the reason that I went into missions early this year was, as much as I've always desired to go into missions at some point in my life, I always thought after uni I'd have time to go to do missions. Sorry. I've always thought that after uni I'd have time to do missions, and so now it happened sort of the other way, because my dreams of going to uni, or rather to a set university in a specific place, did not come to fruition the way I thought, even though everything looked so promising and everything looked like it was heading in that direction, and it didn't. It fell through, and it really broke me. And so I went into missions partly to figure out, what is God's plan for my life? Maybe I wasn't going the right way, you know? And in missions, we read this one book called Is That Really You, God? And it's all about hearing the voice of God, basically. It was written by Lauren Cunningham, who's actually the founder of YWAM. But in that book, there was a situation where YWAM were en route to getting a ship, right? And this ship was to help their ministry. It was for the work of God at the end of the day, right? So they were so excited about it and everything. But as time went, they really had a revelation from God that they were putting the ship above God, despite the ship being a vision from God. You know, a lot of times we think idols are things that are not of God. But, you know, this year I've learned a lot that even things from God can become idols to us if we're not careful. I mean, if you check with the Israelites, the same idol, like literal idol that they made to worship, was made from the jewelry that God had granted and gifted them versus prior, you know. And so we see that a lot of time, not a lot of time, but at times when we're not careful, we can take the same gifts, the same visions that God gives us, and we can idolize it because we see it bigger than God. And it excites us. It excites us way more than we're excited for God himself, you know, and the miracle overtakes the miracle worker. And so I had to do some self-introspection as well and realize that maybe partly the reason why that never happened as much as it could have been from God, and it could have been right vision aligned with everything that God wants for my life, but that vision was starting to take the place of the vision giver. And what's the point of a vision if the vision giver or the maker himself is not in it? There's no point. What if I get granted everything I desire on this earth? What if I get granted life or everything that I need to, you know, we're always so big on what is my purpose in life, right? And what if I get granted everything to fulfill my purpose, but the one who the purpose is supposed to be for is not in it? Is it not then pointless? Does it not then defeat the whole point of a purpose? Because our purpose and everything we are should lead and should point to the maker. It should point to God. But if I have it all and I don't have God in it, then I have nothing. And so I think it might have gotten to a point where I started to, maybe, I don't know for sure. And something my therapist at the time sort of wanted to make me comfortable with is the fact that I don't know. I don't know fully why everything transpired the way it did last year. I don't know fully. I know that all things work together for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose, but that doesn't mean everything will work the way I want it to, nor does it mean that everything will work the way I see it, but everything will work together. So even where it goes wrong, it'll go wrong. And God can turn a mess into a message. We love saying that, right? But it happens, you know, and we love saying God can turn a mess into a message, right? So even when things don't go right, even when things go wrong, according to our lenses, it can still work for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. But the main thing in that is loving the Lord and being called according to his purpose. And you can't really be called according to his purpose if there's no love for him. Anyways, I want to get to where I'm getting. I don't want this to even be long because I think I'm just still in a process of thinking out loud, I guess. It's not easy. Like, one day I'm a wreck, one day I'm fine and understanding it. And I think the reason why I wanted to send this now is because I'm realizing I might just have to kill my dreams. And it hurts to think about it. It really hurts to think about. I might just have to kill my dreams as a show of surrender. And if God wants to resurrect that dream, then his will be done. Because as I was talking about YWAM earlier, so they had this dream, this vision for the ship, for ministry, and everything was going well and accordingly. And as they were getting closer, that's where they had the revelation that they were basically idolizing this metal. And they repented and apologized and everything. But then one of the leaders came to them and said, we might have to go a step further. We might have to completely kill this desire, completely kill this dream as a show of dying to self. And so they did that. And as hard as it was, and as much as they mourned and cried and felt like failures, which is a lot of what I'm feeling right now, God resurrected the dream in a beautiful way, not immediately, years later, actually. But it was in such a beautiful way because the fear of the Lord was so much in them and the love of God. And so this piece of metal never came and took the place of God again. So I'm just thinking, like, I've exhausted all my options to make my dreams a reality. Like, I've really exhausted all my options, and I've tried in my own strength, and I've sought out to God, and it just feels like a dead end. And I'm so tired of holding on to hope, to be honest. Another part of this is that every single time I'm constantly holding on to hope. Like, faith can be so exhausting. It can really be so exhausting. So honestly, I just wanna let go of the dream, like allow it to die. It feels like it's been in like CPR, and he's just praying and fasting and doing all these different things just for the dream to be alive again. But it's basically dead. And I'm so tired. I'm so tired of holding on to hope. I'm so exhausted. And so I really just want to let go. But I'm constantly in this thing of, am I letting go because I'm really killing the dream and just allowing God's way, whatever that looks like in the present, like whatever that looks like now, whatever the future looks like, and I'm just allowing him to lead? Or is it because I'm tired and I don't know which is the right thing to do? I really don't. But I'm tired and I really just want to allow God to move the way, to move beyond the limitations and expectations, and to move beyond the borders I've expected him to, or the way I thought he would. I know God is a miracle worker, and I thought he'd work the miracle the way I wanted him to, but I'm realizing that that's not how it's gonna be, and I just wanna really let go and just trust him, whatever his plan is. And that is so scary, and it feels like I'm a failure because I believed in something so much, but I don't think I should feel like a failure because I took a step of faith. And even though it didn't physically get me anywhere, I think you should never, ever regret a step of faith you took. Faith in God. I don't think God would ever want that of me, because I think, despite it all, he's proud of, he's proud that I hate taking risks. I hate taking risks. And I took this risk because I trusted God. And I think that one aspect is something that I shouldn't regret, even though a part of me is telling me to regret it. I feel like I should never regret the fact that I took a step of faith, and it didn't get me where I wanted to be physically, but spiritually I've grown so much, emotionally and mentally, and I still believe God can move mountains, but maybe he's not going to move it in the way that I would have desired him to, and that's okay, because I constantly say, and I will keep on saying, I'm going to look back at this 10 years from now, and I'm going to be so grateful for going through it. I'm going to be so grateful for trusting God. I'm going to be so grateful for allowing God to take me on the journey that He's taking me, because through the failure, I've managed to go to YWAM through missions, which was such an incredible experience. Like, I don't believe I'm ever going to be done with missions. Through that, I got to meet such amazing people. Through that, there's hope for so much more. Like, hope is never dead. Hope is never lost. So even though this aspect of my dream, what I'm simply doing is just laying it down at the feet of Jesus and saying, God, it's yours. So whether you wanted to rest and to die because you have greater plans and I just don't know, or whether you want to resurrect it in your own way, in your own time, ensuring that my heart is first for you, then your will be done, you know? And so I'm gonna call this part 1, because this is very much processing. And once I've processed everything as much as I can, and once I have, you know, the right vocabulary for everything, and once I'm, you know, not looking as bad as I am, I'll probably post, you know, another one, just like more articulate and, you know, with the thoughts processed better and everything. But yeah, right now this is just raw, uncut. Maybe I won't even edit. I'm just gonna just post it. Because why not? Listen, I know I'm gonna regret this if I have to look back and edit anything. So to be honest, I just want to post it as it is, so that I don't have time to delete it. But yeah, that was just uncut thoughts. This is becoming. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And I know 30-year-old Amu is going to be so proud. And yeah, God is working, even when it doesn't feel like it, even when I don't see it.